Hey yo, what's going on, Choppies? Welcome to another episode of Hip Hop Made Me Do It. Today I got a really special story for y'all. And this is a story on how I met Shyne on Rikers Island. But before I do that, let me let everybody know that the song with me and Method Man, Wu-Tang Remix, drops on January 2nd, 2020. All y'all know that I've been pushing this song. I asked for help to make this video. I just been really going hard on this song, and finally it drops on January 2nd. So listen, this is what I need all of my choppies to do. In the description below, there's a link to pre-save the song, right? And what it does is it automatically tells Spotify that you want this song. So on the day that the song drops, you're gonna immediately get a notification that the song drops, and you get to be the first person to listen to it. I need all of my choppies to do this because I need all of my choppies to hear this song. I'm telling you, this song is fire. You need to listen to it. You need to be the first one to listen to it. All right, so make sure y'all go do that right now, and I appreciate that. So now, here's a story. Let me give you a little context. For everybody that doesn't know who Shyne is a rapper. First of all, pause this video. If you don't know who Shyne is, pause it right now. And as you pause it, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you do a comment and say, "Hey Mac, I love your content. You're the best." Right before you go, and then go to Google, go to YouTube, and search for Shyne and listen to some of his stuff. Shyne was a beast. So now, in the early 2000s, after Biggie died, rest in peace to Biggie. After Mace stopped rapping, and after the Locks went to the Rough Riders, Bad Boy, Puffy's label, he didn't have, anybody. And then all of a sudden, his answer was Shyne right? Shyne had this distinctive voice. It sounded reminiscent to Biggie. You know what I'm saying? This deep monotone voice that kind of resembled Biggie's voice. And Shyne was like buzzing in New York. Like everybody was talking about Shyne. And Shyne was just like a street dude. Like, you know what I mean? He was really like a street dude. Everybody was talking about it. There was stories about him. And I listened to his music, and I really jacked Shyne's music at that time. So what happened was, one day at the club, there was a shooting at the club that involved Shyne, Puffy, and J-Lo, right? And long story short, Shyne goes to jail for shooting in the club. And around that time, I was on Rikers Island. So when he was on Rikers Island, I was on Rikers Island. I was in the Beacon for about a year at this time. And during that time, I established myself as a rapper in the building. And I was just going around, just every house that I went to, I was rapping. Everybody knew me for rapping. And whenever new people came in that was a rapper, we would go to the yard, or we would go to the house or whatever, and we'll battle. And I was winning a lot of battles at that time. And just everybody knew me as being like the premier rapper in the Beacon. You know what I'm saying? Anybody in the Beacon with me at that time can attest to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? All of my stories, like, people was there with me. Like, there were hundreds of people that was there with me. So people can attest to it. And if you was with me on the island and you knew about that, make sure you leave on the comment and let everybody know that I'm not capping, right? So I was known throughout the building for rapping, right? And it was to the point where officers used to get me to battle. Like if an officer worked this house and there was another officer in another house, they would call each other like, "Oh, you got a rapper in your house? I got one too." And they used to bring They used to bring me to the house, and I used to battle, and the officers used to gamble on us and stuff. And they used to do that all the time, actually. And the officers used to want to be like, they used to want an A&R for us, like, "Yo, boom, like when you coming home," and just try to plug stuff up. And I remember this is the time when my name started really buzzing with the rap in the Beacon, right? And at this time, the Beacon was the wildest house the Beacon was the wildest building on Rikers Island. And I was in the wildest house in the Beacon at the time, which was 9A. So I remember there was like a cutting in the house like a couple days before, and we was getting searches after searches after searches. And we had just got a search at like, lunchtime, like 11 o'clock, we got a search. So we're thinking that we're good for the rest of the day. You know what I mean? So my boy comes back, and my boy was known every time he goes to the visiting floor, he comes back with weed. He goes and brings back the drugs. You know what I mean? His girl, whoever brings him drugs, and he'll bring him back inside the block. And we was all waiting for him to come back because that was my guy. You know what I'm saying? So he comes back, and we all looking at the door when he walks in, and he just giving me that little, and I know it's lit. He got the drugs. So he goes in his cell, he does what he has to do, then he comes back out. I'm sitting in front of the TV, so now let me just give you the the blueprint of how the houses look, the blocks look in the Beacon. So when you walk in, there's a big U. It's like one big long warehouse looking thing, right? So there's like a U where the cells go around. So one cell all the way over here, there's a cell all around. And then there's a second floor, and then there's cells all around that as well. There's stairs in the middle of the block that you can walk from the first tier to the second tier. And in between that is like, where we sit down with the tables, chairs, we sit down, watch TV or whatever. So I was sitting in front of the TV on the chair watching TV, and then my boy comes through back. He sits next to me, and he shows me 3 balloons, right? So now what a balloon is basically the balloon, but what you do is you take the balloon and you stuff it with weed, drugs, whatever it is. You stuff it, and then your people brings it onto the visiting floor, and then from there, we take it and we put it away. We put it in the trunk. Boop! That's the only way to get it in. You know what I'm saying? So he had 3 balloons, and I seen it, and I was like, all right, it's lit. We about to get high. So he gives me like a little chunk of weed. He says, yo, break this up. So as I'm breaking it up, what happens? We hear the door buzz open, and the police, the squad, busts in. Everybody on the wall, everybody on the wall, everybody on the... And we're like, oh, fuck. Because we just got a search, so we're not thinking they're going to come back in here. So we're kind of like, we got drugs. He got the drugs all out, and he just tossed, like, he gets up, but the balloon, one of the balloons falls on the floor, and it falls by my feet. So I'm like, oh, man. I go like this. I grab the balloon. Listen. This right here is not going nowhere. You're not catching this. I don't care. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but this right here is not, we're not getting caught with this. So I have this right in my hand, and I'm just like this. Oh, man. So I'm standing by the wall, and I'm like, damn, bro. Like, and I have it in my hand like this, and I'm waiting for the opportunity to get rid of it. You know what I'm saying? But, so I'm waiting, and they're like, yo, everybody line up on the wall. So I'm like, damn. Everybody's just shaking their head like, damn, we're done. So they're like, everybody on the wall, they're like, all right, listen, we're about to search this house. We're about to tear everything up. But I'm going to give y'all, because I'm feeling, and it was around Christmas time, right? So he was like, yo, since I'm in the Christmas mood, right, and I don't really want to be searching, this is what I'm going to do. I heard that this kid right here, this Chinese kid right here can rap. If he goes up there on the steps, on the platform, and raps for all of us, for all of my officers, and we like it, we're going to leave. Nobody's going to get searched. But if he's trash, and all of this that I've been hearing about him, and he doesn't deliver, we're going to search the fuck out of your house. We're going to tear this house up. So everybody's like, yo. Everybody's looking at me. So I'm just like, oh, man, I don't want to. But I'm like, I'm not here to rap for no police, but they're like, yo, you better go do it. And I'm like, I looked at my man, so he was like, I was like, if I do it, this is mine? So he's like, yeah, you can have it. So I'm like, put it in my pocket. So I already knew, like, I'm about to go up there and get crazy. So I go up on the platform, I spit like about 100 bars. I'm up there for like 10 minutes rapping. Woo, 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 woo. And I'm going in, like, I could feel like, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving it my all because I have this pocket of weed right here and I want to keep this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I'm rapping. So when I'm done, the officer, he's like, come down here. He gives me a pound, and he's like, all right, we out of here, gentlemen. So he takes this whole squad and they leave. And when the door closes, when the last officer leaves, that door closes, everybody's like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh, snap. So I got this pocket of weed. I'm like, yo, it's lit. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I knew that my name was really buzzing in that jail for rapping. And everywhere I went, all the police officers used to ask me, yo, you writing, champ? Like, oh. And it was a big thing. So now, one of the days I was in the yard and I was over there playing basketball, doing pull-ups, working out. And the dep, one of the dep, he's like the gang dep or something. He's like one of the big deps. So he calls me. He's like, yo, come here. So I'm like, yo, what's up? So he's like, yo, you still rapping? I said, hell yeah. So he was like, that's good, man. He was like, yo, listen, Shyne is in the building right now. So what happened was Shyne was in the building. Shyne was on Rikers Island, but he was in NIC, which is PC, right? That's where he wasn't in PC, he was in IPC because of his celebrity. He was a celebrity. They put him in involuntary protective custody. You know what I'm saying? So he got into a fight over there, and they gave him box time, like 20 days box time, which is 24-hour solitary confinement. So they don't have a box in that jail. The box is in my jail, the Beacon. So they move him over there. He's in a box over there. So the dep tells me, he's like, yo, I got this dude here. You want to rap for him? So I'm like, hell yeah. So he's like, all right, go back to your house. I'll call you down. So I'm like, all right. So I go back to the house. I'm chilling. Make me something to eat. And sure enough, the officer calls me to the bubble, like, yo, here's a pass. The dep wants to see you. So I go down there, and when I walk in the office, the dep was sitting at his table, and there was like 2 gang intelligence officers sitting there. And I'm just like, all right. So the dep was like, sit down. So he's like, yo, we just called Shyne over here, and I believe in you, man. Like, I really think that you can change your life with this music. So I want to give you the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I appreciate it. So he's like, all right. So now, Shyne has no idea what he's being called for. He's just in his cell. He's not expecting to be called out. His gate pops open. The officer comes, shackles him up, puts the shackles on his feet, puts the shackles right here, a little belt. It's because when you're in the box, you have to move like that. So he's probably like, what the hell am I getting all this, wearing all these shackles? Then he comes into the office, and he's looking, and he sees the 2 gang intelligence officers, he sees the dep, and he sees me sitting there, and he's just like, so the dep is like, yo, listen, Shyne, I got this kid right here, he's a young kid, and he's our rapper, you know what I'm saying? And I want him to rap for you, and I want you to, give him some criticism, like let him know what's up or whatever. So Shyne's just looking at him like, he was trying to be respectful, but from his face, he was just like, why the hell you call me down here? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's fighting the case. Last thing he wants to do is hear somebody rap, you know what I'm saying? So he's just like, all right. So he sits down. Matter of fact, I'm lying. He didn't even sit down. He stood up. He stayed up. He's just like, all right, start rapping. So I'm just like, all right, I start rapping, but just from the energy, I was kind of a little off, you know what I'm saying? And I start rapping, and Shyne just, I was looking at his face, and Shyne just wasn't interested. He didn't even sit down. He wasn't even trying to stay there. He was just like, all right, boom. And then after I was done, the dev was like, yo, what you think? And he was like, yeah, he's alright, you know what I'm saying? He's alright. But how would he do on a song? Or he'd probably be better if I wrote something for him, like if I helped him. And I'm just looking at him like, write something for me. Like, I don't need you to write nothing for me. So after that, they took him, I left, and I remember like, you know, that was my experience with Shyne. Like, you know what I mean? And I remember I went back to my house, he was like, he's gonna write for me. So that even made me write even harder. I was writing every day after that, like, yo, Shyne heard me and he was uninterested. I gotta keep on going harder. And that made me even go harder, you know what I'm saying? But that was my experience with Shyne. And Shyne, if you see this, bro, happy holidays to you and yours, man. I'm glad to see you out. Glad to see you doing your thing, brother. You know what I'm saying? Much love and respect to you. But Shyne is a solid dude, man, and definitely much love to Shyne. So that's the story. That's how I met Shyne Poe on Rikers Island. And that's it, man. I hope you enjoyed the story. I'll see you on the next episode. And make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this channel, and make sure you comment. And most importantly, make sure you hit the link below. Go to my merch site. You can buy a couple shirts from China Mac, a couple hats. You know what I'm saying? That After 10 hoodie is still there. We only got 10 more to sell. So make sure you go buy that if you haven't already. And make sure you go and click the link to pre-save the song with me and Method Man. Until next time, I'll see you. Everybody be safe, be great. Let's get it.